Hello there, what is going on everyone? Today we are looking at another Shatterpoint expansion. Today it is the This Is Some Rescue Squad Pack featuring Princess Leia, Stormtrooper Han, Stormtrooper Luke, and Chewbacca. Very nice looking Chewbacca pose in this one, very menacing. Leia in our classic episode 4, Princess self-rescuing, and then we've got Han and Luke in Stormtrooper disguise. A little short for a stormtrooper, I think he is actually, but it's okay because he's on a tactical piece of metal there. There it is. So very cool stuff. Big thanks to Atomic Mass Games for shipping this out. This is a review copy, so very cool to see some of the original trilogy stuff making our way to our tabletops. If you want to check this out, there'll be a link in the video description below where you can check out the Asmodee store and pick up some Star Wars Shatterpoint product of your choice. If you guys are new here to the channel, I do talk a lot about Star Wars and tabletop games. Love to have you stick around. Plus, we're doing that $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. Today, what I want to hear from you guys is, what is your favorite film of Star Wars? Because I know a lot of people will say Episode 4 because it is the one that started it all. And do you have rankings too? Where do you rank Episode 4? Where do you rank A New Hope? Because that's always a very cool one to see. All right, so we've got everything out of the box there. We have ourselves some cards. We've got ourselves some plastic. We've got ourselves a little bit of paper where you can get your instructions. So again, the instructions to assemble all of these are posted online. Usually they're not particularly very difficult. Here's our little credits sheet, so you can, if you want to be able to say thanks to all the folks that helped bring this latest expansion to us. And then, of course, our foreign language documentation on the back side. I'm going to take a quick look at the sprue, and then we will assemble the entire thing and let you see how they look before and after. So here's our 4 bases, and we've got all 4 characters on one single sprue here, which is really nice. I imagine these aren't going to be particularly hard to put together. Most of the pieces here are pretty large. Chewbacca specifically, very large pieces. We're not having to glue each piece of hair onto him, so it's going to be pretty self-explanatory here. His pieces are marked with a D, and then we've got B's, and we got A's, and I'm guessing we have C's as well. Now, why in the world did they mark, I guess, Han as C and Chewie as D? Wouldn't it have made more sense to mark Chewbacca as C? You know, that's just something that, these are the things that come to my mind, is why make Chewie and not make him C? You know, I don't know. I guess nobody else really conforms to the naming standards, but at least in the case of Chewie, he did. We've got a lot of cards here. Now, this is going to be a pretty thick amount of cardstock. We've got whatchamacallit, Han and Chewie. We've got all our foreign language stuff here, right? But I'm only going to look at the English versions of these. Let's take a look at the cards first, and then we'll put the minis together. All right, so first up is Princess Leia, charming to the last. She's a primary, so it's cool to see Leia as a primary here with 8 squad points and 3 force points. We've got her flipped around here. We can see Leia charming to the last. She's got the keywords Rebel Alliance, Spy, and Warrior. 9 health, 3 stamina. And she's got Into the Garbage, Shoot Flyboy. It's a Wonder You're Still Alive, Crack Shot, and Somebody's Gotta Save Our Skins. A lot of movement abilities, some healing, and also giving people Sharpshooter and then move. So she's very much like support. It seems here, very much giving mobility to your team. She's got 2 stances, of course. If you flip this card over, she's got Aggressive Ambassador, which has 6 on ranged and 5 on melee for attack. And she's got a lot of damage on this one, but she's very flexible with the other effects as well that she could put in with some free dashing and advancing. And then we flip her over, and then she flips the script a little bit, and now she's a 5 and 6. A little more melee here. A lot more singular focused track with a very high damage potential too, if you're able to get all the way down it, which is very cool. Now for our secondary, we're gonna have Luke here as our secondary, who has a 3 squad point with Daring Hero. Luke Skywalker, Daring Hero. Now he's not using his lightsaber at all, it looks like here. But he had, at this point in the story, he had just had like a brief introduction to it with Obi-Wan. So he does have the Force user capability here, Rebel Alliance and Spy. He is just starting to become in tune with the Force here, just able enough to hear Obi-Wan tell him to run and get the heck out of there. He's got I'm here to rescue you, the grappling hook, a lot of hunkering between him and Leia also, it looks like. He's the brains, sweetheart. I like that one. And then, oh, the uniform. He does not lose his hunker when he becomes engaged, and he can have hunkers while he's engaged. So they're really going to try and work on that survivability, especially with the expanded Stormtrooper armor, which you're going to see on the stance card. They only have the one for Luke on this one, so you're not getting a lightsaber. Although you do have Scrappy, so I guess he's going to punch a little bit with the. I wonder what he did with his lightsaber while he was wearing the Stormtrooper armor. Did he maybe he stuck it in R2 that time? I don't know, or did he leave it on board the Falcon? That's one of those things that I that's a question I don't know if I've ever really had to ask before. But yeah, he's got a decent amount of damage on here. 6 dice for both ranged and melee, and then 4 and 5 defensive respectively. And so yeah, he's got a little bit of repositioning in there, but and a push and a rather shove, and then an advance. So there we go. Now we got Han. Let's look at Han. So Han is coming in as a support. It's Han and Chewie. So this is a kind of an interesting way to get some named characters out there for support, but he's a 5-point. You're not going to be able to do him in everybody's, in every list. So you have to be, there's only so many lists that you can be able to run Han and Chewie in. But I'm sure as time goes on that there will be more options for inclusion with Han and Chewie. You've got, look out, he's loose. Boring conversation anyway. I expect to be well paid, and we're all fine here. Now, thank you. Oh, it's not how are you. Okay, they changed up the quote just a little bit. Well, they didn't include the additional how are you, but that would have been funny. He's also got the mercenary, scoundrel, and spy keywords. Now, for a support, he's got a lot of health. 10 health and 2 stamina. Of course, this is representing both Han and Chewie, so it does stand to reason that the largest amount of HP in the entire expansion will be on the support, which is kind of funny. We've got a stance card here. Brash Bravado. Again, nothing on the back here. But, yes, he's got also the Stolen Imperial Blaster. They don't, the funny thing is they don't put the Stormtrooper armor on there for the defensive expertise because, well, Chewie isn't wearing it, so it wouldn't be fair to say, well, they're all wearing Stormtrooper armor. So they call it Smuggler Swagger. What goes into how do we name all this stuff so it works? And, it's pretty interesting. But there is the stance card, and then of course there are order cards. We've got Leia's, we've got Luke's, and we've got Han and Chewie's right there. All right, so we've got all of these put together now. So we're going to take a look at Luke first. You had some hand options for Luke. You could opt to have him not holding the Stormtrooper helmet, but I went to have him holding the Stormtrooper helmet. That was a no-brainer. There we go. We've got Leia here, and she's got this whole thing. Now, you don't have to put this thing together. You could have her standing on a rock or something else if you like, but I decided to just set her up kind of as normal. We've got Chewbacca here, who is furious and pretty groovy looking. And then we've got Han Solo, who was the most difficult of the patch, mostly because he's just touching the ground at that one point. I tried to have him just going without that little piece of stuff that he was standing on, and it did not work. He would not stay up. So then I decided to put him in there. And I'm going to be rebasing with like a dirt-based texture anyway, so I'll cover up that whole grate once I rebase him. But you also have 2 head options for Han. You can go with him kind of a normal face, and you go with him kind of yelling. So I went with the version yelling, because that's the charge that he was doing. So pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. All right, guys, this has been a look at the This Is Some Rescue Squad Pack. A pretty cool pack from a very iconic scene in Star Wars. I also think that this was probably one of the packs that inspired some of the new stuff they talked about at Mini Stravaganza with the alternate scenarios and the narrative the narrative scenarios they're trying to put together, that 3-mission scenario where you're kind of moving in to disable some, disable a tractor beam or disable a system, then rescue somebody, then make it to your ship to escape. Very much kind of sounds indicative of episode 4 and the Leia rescue from the Death Star. And so pretty cool to kind of be able to, if you're planning on running that, this is probably a really good pack for it because it's going to fit thematically into those missions. All right, guys, again, big thanks to Asmodee and Atomic Mass Games for sending this out for review. If you want to check it out, there's links in the description below, plus all of my social media in the description below as well. And you can join our Discord and keep the discussion going there. I will talk to you later. Thank you so much, and big thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. Have a great day, and always wash your socks.